What's up, you SEO pros? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about some SEO trends that you need to know about to be successful in 2022. The first thing I want to talk about is the passage ranking update. This update was actually launched in 2021, but it's going to be as relevant as ever in 2022. So this update actually allows Google to rank specific sections of your content directly on the index. Before this update, Google used to only understand the topic of a page as a whole, but now it can break down long form content into a variety of sections, and each of these sections can have ranking potential. Let me take you guys through a quick example. Let's say before this update, I went out and I created a complete guide on how to make coffees. And within that guide, I had a phenomenal section where I talked about how to make the best espresso. Before this update, I most likely would be beat by someone who wrote a smaller yet more targeted and more topically relevant article that exclusively talks about that topic. So how to make a great espresso, because that article is far more relevant for that topic than my huge article that talks about a variety of different types of coffees. But now Google can go in, they can see the different sections within my content, and if those sections are relevant, of course, taking into account all other ranking factors, that section could rank above a smaller article that's more specific. So this is great and all, but how does it affect us in 2022? So there's two things we need to take into account. The first is that we need to continue making long form content. With this update, Google is telling us that they understand long form content a lot better, so long form content could even perform better in 2022. The second thing is that now that we know that each section in our long form content could have ranking potential, we need to make sure that we organize our content as best as possible to make sure that Google understands all the different sections that we have in our content. I want to show you guys a couple examples of really well organized blog posts. The first one I want to talk about is Ahrefs. So these guys have a phenomenal blog and they know how to structure their content extremely well. So as we're going to see, there's going to be a heading that separates each section very, very clearly. As you see, another heading. So these guys are pros at separating their content, and this is exactly what Google wants to see. We need to make sure that we're separating each section by a heading, right? Another website that does this phenomenally well is HubSpot. So these guys, again, we're gonna see a variety of different headings that separate all these different sections and help Google understand how we've broken down that piece of content. And guys, while we're organizing and while we're structuring that content, that actually improves our chances of getting a featured snippet. I'm actually gonna be making a video on how to optimize and how to improve your chances of getting a featured snippet, so definitely subscribe, you don't wanna miss it. The second thing I wanna talk about is authority. So authority in SEO used to be exclusively tied to link building. So that has definitely changed going into 2022. I'm not saying link building is dead. I definitely think link building should be a huge priority inside your SEO strategy, but there's a lot of other things we need to take into account to have a successful SEO strategy in 2022. The first thing I want to talk about is EAT. So that's expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. At the end of the day, Google wants to rank reliable sources on their index. But how do they know if you're a reliable source, or how can we convince Google that we're a reliable source? So the first and main thing is that if you aren't an expert on the topic that you're writing about, you need to hire one. The content always needs to be extremely high quality, and it needs to be written by an expert that knows exactly what they're talking about. But here's some other things that we can do to improve our EAT. Number one, we need to have a complete about page. Talk about exactly who you are, why you're doing this project, what's your objective, what's your mission, and especially talk about all the people that are working in that project. It definitely helps to add links to social profiles or to LinkedIn or to personal websites or portfolios. Number two, make sure you have an easy to find contact page. Number three, make sure you're adding reputable references and external links to your blog posts. Number four, make sure you have a privacy policy and terms of service that's easy to access. Number five, make sure that you connect a real author to each blog article that you're writing. What I mean by this is every time you publish a blog article, make sure there's an author attached to that blog post and that users can go in and read about that author in a specific author page. Within that author page, that author should basically talk about why they're a reliable source and why they're authorized to speak about this specific topic. This is especially important if you're in the health niche. And number six, we need to get backlinks from authorities in our niche. This is easier said than done, but we need to think a little bit outside the box. How can we collaborate with that big competitor? That link from that authority in the space is going to be a really important signal for Google to trust you. The second topic that I want to talk about within authority is topical authority. So to put things simply, how much have you written about a specific topic? And how does this compare to how much your competitor has written about that same topic? The more you write about a specific topic, the more topically relevant you will be. So if you're serious about ranking for that topic, you need to produce as much content as possible to take over that topic bubble and make sure that you've covered everything. I want to show you guys an example of a website that does this extremely well. I'm sure you all know about Healthline. It's a massive website inside the health niche. So I've added Healthline to Ahrefs, and I'm looking at the top subfolders in the US. So what I see here is that 3% of their traffic is coming in for this specific subfolder. So their pregnancy subfolder, right? They're getting in around 4 million monthly organic users. That's a lot. And if we take a look at some of the keywords, these are going to be extremely competitive keywords. 505,000 monthly searches, position 4, 216,000, position 3, 57, number 1, and so on and so forth. So obviously there's a lot of different factors at play here. I'm sure they have great link building, great on page, but we know for a fact they have phenomenal topical authority. Let me show you guys why. I went out and I did a quick site search. So I looked up their website, and what I'm looking for here is I'm searching for any post or page that has pregnancy in the title. And what we see here, guys, is that they have over 1,200 posts that they've written about pregnancy. So they're extremely topically relevant, and this helps them a lot. When they're publishing a new post about pregnancy, Google sees them as an authority. So guys, topical authority was important in 2021. It's going to continue to be important in 2022, and we need to invest a lot of hours into producing really high quality content and taking over that main topic that we're targeting. A third trend that I want to talk about is video. So video is going to continue to grow as it has been doing for the last few years. And this is a two-parter. So number one, YouTube is going to continue to take over Google search. There are a lot of video snippets that are coming up on Google. If we take a look at a simple keyword like how to carve a pumpkin, we see that the first thing we see is a video. And most likely, this is going to satisfy our user intent because we're going to see exactly how it's done, and we're not going to scroll down and see other options. So YouTube is going to continue to take over those search results. They're going to start showing up more and more on that first page. And the second thing is that the traffic within YouTube and inside YouTube is going to keep growing as well. It doesn't matter what niche you're in. If there's traffic on Google for the niche you're targeting, there's most likely traffic on YouTube. So if you aren't creating video content in 2022, you're gonna start falling behind. It's super important to go out to create that YouTube channel and to be present regardless of the niche you're in. As always, I hope you guys learned from this. This year, my main goal for this channel is to get to 10,000 subscribers. So it would mean a lot to me if you hit that subscribe button, if you hit that like button. It helps a lot. I'll see you guys in the next one.